What is up, YouTube? Scrammy here, coming at you with another extreme test for the Sonim XP8. Now last week, we threw the Sonim in some motor oil, some 5W30 fully synthetic. Now today, we're going to take it and do a little bit different test. We're going to do hydrogen peroxide. Now, will this bleach out the phone? I really don't know. The first thing we're going to do is take a little bit of it and just spritz it around on the phone and rub it in and just see if we get any sort of reaction to anything with the peroxide. Now, mind you, Sonim does say that the phone can withstand 500 chemicals. Well, we're going to find out if it can withstand peroxide. And then, after we do that, if anything happens, if nothing happens, we're just going to lay it in the Tupperware, fill it up a little bit, and just let the phone sit and see if we can maybe bleach the Sonim. Will it bleach it? I really don't know, but I'm curious to see the result, guys. So as you can see here, we have the Sonim. It is fully functioning. No damage on it anywhere other than all the tests that I've done to it. But the screen is good. Everything down here is good. All the buttons. Everything looks fine and dandy. You can see it's all closed up. Top, bottom. Port closed here. Battery's closed. And we are charged up. And we're going to just get on with this test, guys. Hopefully no whammies, but here we go. Alright guys, here we go. We got the Sonim going in. A little bit in here. Shut that screen off for the time being. And now we're just going to spritz a little bit of this peroxide around the phone and wipe it in. A little bit on here. Looks good. Alright. So that's just a little bit, and we're going to wipe it around. Just make sure the whole phone is covered. That looks Jim dandy. Alright, so we have sufficiently covered the phone a little bit here. We're going to let this sit for a few minutes, and we're going to come back and just find out if just a little bit of peroxide will do anything, and if it doesn't, then we're going to basically try and fill up this Tupperware with peroxide and leave the phone in it. So we're going to just give this a minute. We're going to come right back and get to this testing. Alright guys, it's been a few minutes here. Doesn't look like anything's really happened to the Sonim. I just didn't think anything really would, but I wanted to test just to make sure. So, yep, the phone still turns on. Peroxide is all over the back, but I don't see any ill effects as of yet. I just wanted to get this quick test out of the way because I wanted to make sure. So this way, now we know that it's going to take more than just a little peroxide to actually have any effect on this phone. But yeah, I can tell it's on my fingers because, well, they're tingly, but the phone so far looks to be just fine. So now it's time to step it up a notch. Alright guys, here we go. The Sonim is pretty well covered in hydrogen peroxide now. So we're gonna let it sit. Let me see, what time is it now? It is about 3:08. So we're gonna give this about 15 minutes in the peroxide here and see if any color bleeds out. If it eats through and shuts anything off. I mean, there's a very good possibility that it could get into the screen or do some sort of damage to it, but we won't know unless we wait. So I'm going to give this about 15 minutes, come back. If I see the water's turning gray, well then I know for sure it's having an effect. Alright guys, here we go. It's been just a little over 15 minutes. From the outside, the phone still looks perfectly fine. Let me push the button and look at that. We are still on, still golden here. So let's pick it up real quick and look. Nothing obvious happening to the bottom. So the phone is still good after just a little bit over 15 minutes. You can see it's now about 3:30, so we're gonna let it sit another 15 minutes and check it again, guys. But so far, the Sonim seems to be suffering no ill effects from the peroxide. Alright guys, here we go. The phone's been sitting in there for about a half hour. I decided to let it sit instead of 15 minutes. I went straight for the half hour mark. So now it's right about 4 o'clock. And that is correct. It's just after 4. The phone is still on. I don't see anything on the outside here that looks like anything's fading or anything wrong with it. Let me turn it over real quick. Everything looks good on this front. Everything's good on this side. So we're gonna continue to let this puppy sit. We're gonna go to the hour mark and see what happens. Right now, so far, we're good. The Sonim seems to be taking it like a champ, but we won't know till we're totally done and we go over it to make sure everything still works and that all the functions of the phone are still there. But hopefully we have no whammies with this test and it continues on and we can continue smashing. But for right now, we get to wait a little bit longer. Alright guys, here we go. Now it's just a little after 4:30, so the phone's been under the hydrogen peroxide now for well over an hour, and we're going to take our final check real quick. And it appears to still be turning on. Bring it up. Nothing really on the back. Everything looks pretty damn good. So I'm going to dry it off real quick and we'll take a closer look at it. Alright guys, we got our final check coming in. I just washed off the phone and then dried it off a little bit. So we're going to come in for a closer look. Everything looks good on outside. Nothing looks like it got in anywhere. The charging port looks good. These buttons all look good. The back looks good. I don't see any damage anywhere. This side looks good. Top looks good. Screen looks good. Nothing got in there or anything happened to it. So the hydrogen peroxide didn't do anything to the outside. So let's see if my fingerprint will work for the fingerprint scanner. And so that still works. So that's good. So that's another step in the right direction. Let's bring up Chrome really quick. And that boots up. So that's also good. Let's bring up the camera real quick. And there it is. The camera is working. Let's see if we can take a picture. Sure. Picture. Alright, video recording. Yeah, the video is recording. So the camera works. So that's awesome. So the camera works. Now, one last check to make sure it's definitely all working. We'll go to YouTube. Do the same thing. We'll go to my channel real quick. If I can hit the button. There we go. Boom, boom. Bring up my channel. And let's just play a video real quick. And again, the video is working, but we have definitely distorted audio, but that's just to be expected, obviously, because, you know, it's soaked in there. But the buttons seem to have full functionality over that. Video seems to be working just fine. So we'll close this down. And let's try these buttons. Back button works. That's good. Turn that away. Okay. Bring that up. Okay, so multitask. That button works. And the fingerprint scanner button works, as well as reads my fingerprint. So, all in all, hydrogen peroxide didn't do a lick of anything to the Sonim. So, you don't have to worry about if you accidentally get hydrogen peroxide on it, because it doesn't fade it, doesn't do nothing to it. It works just fine. Do I recommend putting your phone into hydrogen peroxide? No, I do not. But in the case of the Sonim, it won't even hurt it, not even in the slightest. So, that's awesome, which means we get to continue putting it in chemicals, smashing and bashing it around, and eventually it's going to give up. I've already gone through a couple, so we're going to end up going through this one too. But if you like this video, guys, go ahead and like, subscribe. If not, you don't have to. But hey, I'm going to keep making the videos, keep testing the phone, because, you know, we just got to figure out how much it can take. So, till the next time, guys.